Hello! I am Alaskan Nymph and I finished another Buildtober challenge. I'd like to take you on a brief tour of what I have made, and I've still got some builds that I didn't finish, so make sure you stay tuned to see what I do for those. This lovely little orchard right here was the first build. Did only just now occur to me that I can in fact replace the moss blocks with leaves. Candles can float, and yet you can't place them on leaves. Who decided that was going to be a thing? Here we are at the site for day 2. Creepy crawly. Made some cute little guys. Got a green one, got a yellow one. Used the cactus flower for the first time, which was fun. Here we have the build flooded. Very little, didn't take that long to make, and it looks like a place where you could start a quest in a game. If you turn around from receiving your quest at the flooded structure, don't mind the squid, you will see the build for skeleton. This one is, without a doubt, my favorite build from this whole month. It took me the longest to build, and while its replay file is 43 minutes and 41 seconds, that is not counting about 40 minutes total of setting up a block palette and struggling with World Edit to just copy and paste the rib cage. A detail that I would like to point out here is I actually separated the ulna and radius. I think I pointed at those in the wrong order, but isn't that fun? Also, realistically, the sort of fingers, the phalanges, if you will, my anatomy student friends get me. They should be a lot longer than this, but I was very tired, and it looks very cool regardless. I also didn't really, there should be a lot more bone back here, but it looks amazing. I'm not going to change it. It looks so cool, and I'm so happy with it. A medium difficulty terrain hike away from skeleton is arcane. For this, I built an arcane market with mysterious fauna and flora. Also, the sniffer egg hatched, which I didn't think it could do if it wasn't placed on a natural block, so oops. And I also hydrated the dried ghast so that Mom wouldn't feel bad for it, and I forgot. So now there's just a ghast and a sniffer somewhere. Hi, pig. After arcane came fallen leaves, another one of my favorites from this month. I decided I was going to avoid using the leaf litter block, and all of the ones that remain around the base of this tree were already here from being in the mixed forest. Should I do a nymph makes a tree progress video? Would that be interesting to see all of the custom trees I've made? Let me know if that's something you'd watch. Here we have a labyrinth. Specifically, this is meant to be Daedalus's labyrinth. It has several different paths you can go down, and if you should find your way to the center of the maze, yes. If you should find your way to the center of the maze, you'll find the Minotaur, who I left some hay bales, because I didn't want him to be hungry. Hi there. If you should somehow survive the labyrinth, you can then take a leisurely little stroll on over to the next prompt, which was patina. Of course, I had to do something coppery for this, so I made a fun little statue. It's supposed to be a figure with a hat and a backpack, and the surface of the copper has worn away from people patting it for good luck. Also, I made some cutesy little flower barrels and gave it some, oh no, I forgot I was in creative mode, and gave it some nighttime lighting. Up next we have fungus, which also goes in my favorites list, based on the porcelain mushrooms that I found on a walk in the forest. It's got big tall mushrooms, littler mushrooms, even littler mushrooms, and the tiniest little mushrooms imaginable. I also used rooted dirt to act like mycelium. Here we have the build Hallowed. I made a hallowed hollow because I was getting tired of seeing people mix those words up when talking about Hollow Knight, and ended up making a fun little shrine to the last creaking heart in the forest, or something. You know what? Yeah, it's the last creaking heart in the forest. That's the lore I just decided. Oh my gosh, I forgot I was in creative mode again. This build has the longest short because I had to slow down the building process because of all the finicky bits on the inside. It totals 2 minutes and 11 seconds. I am so very glad that YouTube has decided shorts get to be up to 3 minutes now. It makes showing off my builds a whole lot easier. Next on the list we have Altar, right behind me, which is probably the smallest build in terms of space it takes up. And of course, the video for this one features my sister playing guitar, so pretty epic build. If you've got some slime, you can offer it to the frogs in exchange for a wish. Across the lake from Altar, we have the next prompt, Orange. This one features yet another cute little custom tree. It's got some frogs that stayed in place because it got stuck in a boat. I'm sure that's fine. I got to use some resin walls and combine tuff and acacia to make the silvery bark of an orange tree. Looks pretty great at night as well. Back in the lovely taiga forest we have Ancient. The focus here being on ancient debris, and a research effort being made to turn it into netherite ingots. I also made an edit to the nether portal after the short went up, where I realized having some crying obsidian in the cave mouth would be a pretty neat touch. And since I built this, I installed the wonderful invisible item frames mod, so I can so I can do this now. Very nice. You can actually see the next prompt from here if you've got a spyglass. It's stars. I ended up moving it further up into the sky so that there wouldn't be a giant block in the background of some of my shorts. Down here, we've got the campsite. Somebody has left their coffee out. Remember, don't do that. And if I switch it to nighttime, then you can look up and see the stars. If I was patient, I would have put specific constellations in here to look at, but copy and pasting a bunch of end rods and glass with World Edit worked pretty well anyway. Next up on the list is Liminal. As I explained in the short, there's nothing inherently scary about liminal spaces, simply a place in between two concepts, spaces, ideas, that kind of thing. I went for the liminal space between biomes. You can see the gradient in the grass, and you can see the foliage and animals change as you go from warm to cold and back again. This one uses a mix of custom-made trees and plain old bone-mealed trees. I'm a big fan of this very dry riverbed that later turns into a very frozen riverbed. I also like these little custom spruce trees I made. They're pretty cool. Back closer to the main hub of all of the builds is Wicked. Of course I had to do the movie. A friend of mine really wanted me to, so I haven't read the books, and I don't really know much about the Wizard of Oz, but I liked their color schemes. We've got frilly, unnecessary, fancy environment, and practical, research-driven environment. And then there's a campfire, because, okay, hang on a second, I did watch the movie. There's a part right at the start where Elphaba has this vision of people cheering her name, and us, the viewer, knows that it's because she's dead, and that struck me so hard. I was like, dang, that's a crazy way to do that. So, campfire for my favorite bit. Next in the lineup, I recite poetry. The prompt was remains, and the same friend who really wanted me to do Wicked the movie is obsessed with the poem Ozymandias by Percy Shelley, so of course I immediately thought nothing beside remains. And you can't see it in the short because it's dark, but this visage half sunk in the sand does actually have eyes and a nose, and a wrinkled lip with sneer of cold command. It is actually a face lying on its side. You just can't, I didn't really communicate that very well, but it's fine. It's a really good poem. Obviously, if you watched the short, then you heard me recite it, but like, definitely worth reading in your own mind, because man, That's a poem, all right. If you turn around from your contemplations of ancient civilizations, you will see the next prompt. Fog. Hello? Frog? I said fog, not frog, but hi there. Are you all the way from the flooded one? Anyway, fog, not frog. I made a fog monster for this one. I'm not super happy with it, but oh well. I made a dock. It's a little bit waterlogged in some sections. You can go swimming if you dare. But look out, there's a fog monster. I even gave it a face. The mangrove trapdoor makes a very cool eye. Speaking of builds I don't like, let's head on over to decay. Now, the log itself, I really like. I like the mushrooms. I like the plants growing inside. I think it's the creepy crawlies that I don't like. This is not a very good fly. And this is supposed to be a moth. Did I get its wings uneven? I did. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't know. I don't like this one very much. Seems like others did enjoy it though, so that's good. And now we reach the first build that I missed. Here it is. Now, the first build prompt that I missed was Soulfire. I had this spot on this island in the river set aside for it for the entire month, so it was very exciting to finally be able to fill it in. I created a Soulfire garden. The idea is that someone can take a lantern and a torch of their own, head on into the warped garden, and collect some soul flame. The flames are sustained by some lava in their soul sand and soil, and a little bit of the warped biome has come to grow here. This also kind of looks like a quest area in a video game. Oh no, what if it's like the Breath of the Wild thing where you have to take a torch and light it and bring it back to... Oh my gosh, that would be evil. When you're done contemplating evil video game quests, you can come over here and contemplate evil mushrooms. Or maybe it's a protist. Biology nerds know what I'm talking about. Skulk is totally a protist. Anyway, the prompt was sealed, so I made a giant vault door to seal away the skulk. But it'll always creep out. No matter what you do, it'll get out of your skulk farm. It's seeped through underneath. Also, this cliff face was already mostly like this. This is very little editing done to the natural terrain, so that's pretty fun. Next up, we've got the prompt Pale Garden. I made a Pale Garden greenhouse with a mud brick frame and white stained glass. I had it pointed out to me that the white stained glass could definitely be intended to mimic the atmospheric fog in the Pale Garden, so that's a pretty fun unintentional little detail there. The greenhouse has got some in-floor irrigation, it's got eye blossoms, it's got its very own little tree, and it's got some moss climbing up the walls. As you are leaving the Pale Greenhouse, you can walk on over past Wicket to Forgotten. This one is the most loved short according to YouTube. It's got 2,498 views and 238 likes. Not to be an absolute nerd, I say as if I haven't done that at least 3 times already, but that means that 9% of people who watched it also liked it, which doesn't seem like a lot, but given shorts ratios, it's a lot. So I'm very happy that people liked this one because I like it a lot too. It's an old forgotten graveyard, still being taken care of by a wonderful sprawling tree. We can also look at this one in the nighttime. The glow berries, of course, light everything up, but I've also left glow lichen everywhere so that all of the gravestones get their own little glow. Up next in the list, we have Shade. I made a little glass art of the Hollow Knight Shade. It's got quartz and the light block, this thing, in there to make the glow without making the frog light texture. I'm definitely happy with it, though if I had a better understanding of how glass art works, I would probably try to go bigger and more dramatic. It is very cute though. Hopefully Lil Ghost comes to reclaim all of its geo. I die so much in this game, it's not even funny. After the prompt Shade, we have Ritual. which I did not complete on time, and I'm not going to show it to you yet because I combined it with Revival. As if playing with glass art for the first time was not enough, I decided I would also go play with redstone. Please observe my build for the prompt, Puppet. It's a little puppet show where you can stand on the pressure plates to make the little guys stand up in different orders. It did occur to me that a way to make this a little bit better would be if you had the redstone control back here where you couldn't see the puppets until they popped up. So let me do that real quick. Okay, did I do this correctly? First try, let's find out. Yes! Oh, look at them! Hi, Steve! Look out, Steve, there's monsters! Oh yeah, I like that. Alright, that works better from back here. That's very fun. I like that a lot. When you've finished putting on your puppet show, you can head on over to Cafe Macabre. I am very happy with the shapes and colors of this build. It's even fully detailed on the back. On the inside, we've got spooky decorations, of course. This is supposed to be a serving plate and a cup, so you can have treats and drinks if you want. Doesn't quite go in the favorite list, but a good build, and I will definitely be revisiting these roof shapes. Next up, we've got Will-o'-the-Wisp. I made a swamp where will-o'-the-wisps are most often spotted, and I added the little chemical reactions themselves. They were on moonlight sensors, so when I turned it to nighttime, it made a bunch of soul fire, but I could not figure out a good way to turn it back off in the daytime without taking up a bunch of space. So they're just permanently on now, but it looks cool anyway. Pretty happy with this build overall. After Will-o'-the-Wisp is Void, which I also didn't do on time. So here it is now. If you guessed that I was going to build yet another tree, you would be correct. I was playing a whole ton of Stardew Valley throughout October in addition to Minecrafting. So when I thought of Void, I thought of the Void chicken and egg. I decided I should make a Void tree to match them. The cherry wood works very well as some kind of mysterious otherworldly wood, and a combination of concrete powder, glass, and purple glass panes made a very fun void-looking canopy. Now, I messed up my replay mod when I was recording this one. I hit exit game instead of pause recording when I paused to talk to my sister, but luckily, it was mostly done. She suggested I add some crying obsidian. Just the slightest bit of luminance from the crying obsidian, and I hid a block of glowstone down here, so there's a little bit of glowing happening at the base of it as well. Makes some very nice shading on the trunk. The last build that I did on time was Snowfall. I knew right away what I wanted to do for this. Wanted to make some nice snowy spruce trees with a cozy campfire to roast marshmallows. I am very, very happy with these trees. I think I got the leaf shape really well. And I added candles to be little spruce cones. It looks very, very cute if you're looking at them from about medium close up. And I used World Edit to change the biome here. So if I ask it to rain, it'll start to snow. This build also definitely goes in my favorites list. Which brings us to the final prompt for Buildtober 2025. This year, since I was doing them day of instead of day before, I did not do it in time because I wanted to go out for Halloween. The prompt that I missed was Revival. And if you were paying attention, you will notice that I have combined it with Ritual. So, Ritual Revival build goes now. I used World Edit this year a lot more than I did last year. I even looked up a tutorial, to figure out how to make a mask and just replace grass and dirt with my block of choice, which in this case was Endstone. It's an Ender Dragon style revival, but the thing that makes it a ritual as well is it's been something oft repeated. Obviously, I can't make it work I will say, I did consider being like, ooh, last prompt is revival, what will I revive? Gasp, it's the Skyblock series! But I'm working on like a billion other videos at the moment, so Skyblock will still have to wait. Sorry, Skyblock. And sorry to you, dear viewer, for making you wait about 2.5 months longer than you should have for a Buildtober wrap-up. It's also worse than the 1 month wait from last year, so oopsies. The delay was due to both avoidable and unavoidable circumstances. This does, however, mean I get to tell you Happy New Year, so Happy New Year. Thank you all very much for all of the support you have shown me in my funny little building challenge. Don't forget to like the video for obscure references and jokes that only anatomy, biology, and digital artist people get. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my nonsense. You can also leave a comment letting me know which of these builds was your favorite, and I will see you another time. Bye bye!